How's it going, everybody, and welcome back to Games Over Explained. Today we are back in Going Medieval in our settlement of Wythenshawe. If you have not seen the previous episode, I am going to be putting a link to the playlist in the description. That way you can get caught up. So today I want to address housing. As you can see, we are quickly running out of space here in Wythenshawe, and admittedly we're not using it in the most effective way. But I have a pretty quick and easy solution for this, and I think it's going to be pretty effective. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of this field over here. That's just our birch tree field. We are already pretty heavy on wood, and we actually have a ton of trees out here that we can cut up. And then once we free up this space over here, we could likely just use this for some tree farming or some other things. So I just want to clear that out. We'll take care of that right now. And the next thing I want to go ahead and do is start drawing out the structure. So my idea is that we're going to be building kind of like an apartment building, but, for Going Medieval settlers, it's not going to be anything super incredibly fancy. I do want to try and square this up here, and I think I've just about got it there. It's not perfect, but that is the measurement that we need across, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So that is 14. So that's the full length of what we want. And then all we need to do from here is I need to find our center and go ahead and knock out the door sections. So give me a second to do that. All right, so that is going to be our first section, 14 across there. That should give us a good guideline on how to proceed. From here, we just need to grab more clay bricks, and we need to divvy this out like this. And actually, I believe that one needs to be out. And then we come up like this. And that's just given us our 3x3 section that we're already kind of doing. We don't need to provide a super large house. Hang on just a second. Let me make sure I've measured this correctly, because I just noticed that this is actually 6 across. I see what I've done here. I put this too far forward. So I actually need to cancel these guys like that. Then we're just going to move this wall back a little bit. As I was saying, we really don't need to have incredibly fancy housing. All of our settlers already have lots of other accommodations. They, eat elsewhere. They practice their religion elsewhere. They work elsewhere. So in reality, there's not a lot of fanciness that we need to bring in for these guys. So we're just going to kind of work backwards here. We do have our shared wall. This is going to be like a modern apartment. That was kind of what I was envisioning. I couldn't really figure out how to make medieval apartments. I looked online, and there are some people that have examples of it, but honestly, it was just something that I wasn't super sure on. So I decided the best way to do this is just kind of wing it and come up with a simple design. We're going to try and make sure that we're making this really consistent here and run with it. So that's what we're doing. We're just doing a simple apartment style, and we're running with it. Because again, this is just a utility thing. We really don't need it to be overly fancy. The only thing we really need to validate next is going to be how many settlers we want to actually accommodate in the apartment building. As of now, I just have this square, so let's do a little bit of math real quick. Currently, it looks like we have 13 houses, but I believe we have more than that in settlers, so let's double check that. All right, so we do have 17 settlers currently, so let's actually run this out just a little more here. All right, and that's going to provide housing for 10 settlers on the first floor. We are going to have multiple floors. It looks like I just missed a wall entirely here, so we're going to go ahead and do that. We will add some windows in this later. Currently, it's just kind of the base structure. I'm going to go ahead and skip ahead since it's getting to be nighttime. All right, and we are back, and it is morning again. So we're pretty much just going to copy this design. I am going to add some windows and stuff, like I said, but we're going to do that near the end because I want to actually get the design knocked out, and then we can go back and make our improvements as necessary. So we're just going to kind of follow the same template here. All right, and the next thing we need to do is go ahead and put our flooring down. We're doing brick on the outside. I think as far as flooring goes, we should actually do wood. We have a ton of wood that we can use up, and wood flooring just looks generally pretty nice in this game. As far as thermals goes, it's run-of-the-mill. It's not super fancy or anything. to write home about. But I think as far as aesthetics goes, it's a really good looking woods, or a floor, I guess. It's the only wood, so it is good looking wood. But we are going to need to go through and do this. It actually looks like we're going to run out of brick as well, which I suppose isn't all that exciting. We can go ahead and get some more generating. All right, and I am going to go ahead and add some more bricks on the menu because we are officially, I believe, out already. Luckily, we do have a ton of clay left to use. I just don't want to use it all. I'm going to go ahead and order another 100 of these guys. Now, granted, we started with 700 something of these clay bricks. I didn't think we were going to run out, but apparently we did. So we are going to make sure to generate some more. We may end up needing more, but we're going to kind of take it easy just because, like I said, I really don't want to burn up all of our raw clay. That way, if we need it for something else, we have it available to us. All right, well, it looks like they're making some progress here. I did actually notice we're still having some issues with winter clothing, so I'm going to go ahead and just generate a few more. I know we just sold some off in the last episode and was like, oh yeah, we don't need any more, but I clearly made a mistake in judgment there. I'm going to go ahead and order a few more. That way we can make sure that everyone's properly wintered up. And then worst case scenario, they can swap out for higher quality items. I know some of the stuff that we have is pretty basic, so it kind of puts us in a position where we can go ahead and just get that taken care of. All right, and as you can see, they're still trying to work on this, but we finally have a thaw out. We're in the middle of a cold snap, and it's been going on for a few days. But what I would like to do is track down some coal and try and reinforce our coal reserves a little bit, because I do want to go ahead and turn the heat back on. I know that winter is just about done, but with the torches with the sticks, I am ready to admit was not the finest of plans. Sticks just burn so quickly, and there's not much that I can do about it. So I'm hoping to track down some more coal. I thought there was some over here. There's a tree down here, so I can't really see. Our quarry is really starting to fall into disarray. We got trees all over the place. But let me see if I could track down some coal, and I'm gonna have them go ahead and start mining it. Yeah, here's a whole vein right here that we can get into. It's gonna take a little bit to kind of get into it, but that's all right. We're okay with that. So let me go ahead and get this prepped over here. And the big thing is just trying to get some more heat going. I have a lot of settlers that are falling unconscious, and the cold snap just ended, which is great. And my concern is that they're just not, it can't be good for them, you know? Nobody wants to fall unconscious because of how cold it is, right? That just seems kind of excessive. So I'd like to make sure that we're at least providing some basic functionality. It also is really dark in Wythenshawe at night, which is not really a good sign in terms of making sure that our civilization is doing really well. So I'd like to get a bunch of coal going, and the next thing I'm going to do here, it's starting to snow again, but that's all right. I just needed a moment to be able to visually see where coal is. I'm going to go through and grab all of our lights that we currently have and switch them to coal. And I'm also going to set the priority. As you can see, these have different priorities. I would say that the housing priority is pretty substantial. We want that to be lit up well all the time, and probably like religious area. And some of the less essential places like the kitchens and stuff like that will probably, well, maybe not the kitchens, but like the limestone where we make our limestone bricks over at the stonemason's bench. I'll probably let that be low priority. So anyway, I'm going to go through and work on that while we're working on getting the rest of this building done. We're really close, and then we can finally move on to the next step, but I did want to go ahead and let you guys know what the plan was, and we're almost to the end of winter, but that's okay. We still need the light. I'm going to go ahead and work on that now. All right, and they are officially done with the basic structure of our building. So the next thing we're going to move into is getting the second floor installed. So the next thing I want to do is grab our stairs, and I'm wondering if we can get away with regular clay stairs, even though it's not the main component. Or maybe we should do a limestone block stair. Yeah, let's do that. That way we don't have to wait as long. That's honestly the main reason why I want to do this, is so we don't have to wait quite as long for them to actually get the materials done, and they can continue to work on limestone brick, because we are going to need some more in the future. So we are going to set a couple of stairs like this. I want a little bit of setback on it, like that. Ooh, I think, yep, I missed. All right, let's retry that one. Take another pass at it. And we'll set that back 1. Having a hard time seeing it from this angle. Maybe if I turn my camera, there we go. Yeah, so we set that back 1 like that. Boom, boom. All right. And that should be good and even, and we should be good to go. And they'll go ahead and get that started. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna drop in some wooden flooring on this second floor. And in theory, it should let me take it all the way across, even though those stairs are there. Perfect. All right, that's gonna give them the opportunity to go ahead and build that. It is nighttime again. We did start in the middle of the day, so we're gonna flash forward. And the last thing we're gonna do is grab our clay brick wall here. Not the last thing. I always say it's the last thing and then it's not. We're just going to, oh, spring is here, finally. Use a break from all the cold issues. So the next thing we're gonna do is grab our wooden beams and we're just gonna plop them in like that. Those are gonna act as center supports for our roof, which is going to be the next major thing we do, but I do want to give them an opportunity to get caught up as usual. That way they can get it built, and then we'll be able to decide on our roof material and start building that. And then we can move on to furnishing and finally detailing the building. All right, so they've just about got this done. We can go ahead and start on our roof. We are going to use a wooden roof. It's not the same material, and it's certainly not going to be as strong as a clay roof, but it's also important to recognize that this is just housing. And so if it gets damaged, we can rebuild it pretty easily. So really all we're gonna do is bring these halves back. It is a little long for a full roof tile. So we're just gonna have to settle for our half roof like that. And then obviously we need to go ahead and get our doors put in as well. So let's do that real quick. And now that the doors are in, and finally, it is morning time, we can start furnishing these guys. So we're pretty much going to do a similar configuration to what we did before, except I did notice that the heat output of torches is just a little underwhelming. And I apologize, you're going to see a little bit of lag here because they are really hitting it hard. But I did notice that the torches really aren't providing the most sufficient heat inside. So I want to go ahead and upgrade those to braziers. And so we're just gonna place our beds in here. We're probably gonna run out of material if I had to guess. Nope, we actually might be okay on hay. Here comes the squad again. They're all on their way to build, and my CPU is not happy about it. But these should be nicer rooms, and it also frees up a ton of space. So I think this was a very good idea, and it was probably something that we needed to do a while ago, especially with how many settlers we have. And the even nicest part about the whole thing is, worst case scenario, we can come back and strip this roof off and add a third floor to it. We need to go ahead and set our materials here. I was thinking we probably just set these to the horizontal. We could do the brick, but it just looks so overwhelming with all of that brick on the front. So we will break it up a little bit. Let's actually go ahead and do brick, and then we'll start doing the rest of the detailing. And if I feel like maybe it doesn't look the best, then I can make an adjustment. And then you guys can tell me in the comments what you think about the look of it. It's a very basic building right now, so don't run to the comments yet. We're not finished, but you can let me know once we are done. So let me go ahead and grab these braziers and get them put into place, because that is going to be the next major step in this process. And I think we're probably just gonna go with some iron braziers, something nice, since they're in there in the bedroom with them. Well, if it isn't our old friends, the forest bandits, let's go ahead and deal with them. Hopefully they spawned forever away. Yes, and I think we're done with coal. Hopefully. I need to check and see if there's anyone stuck outside. Otherwise we should be okay, and we should just kind of let them wander by and do their thing. Where was that coal? There it is. Okay. Yeah, so I don't think we need to haul anymore. We should be okay, and hopefully none of our settlers decide that they want to go outside, and we can just continue doing our construction without having to worry about our forest bandits. So during the summer, I am planning on turning these braziers off. In the meantime, I think they're probably okay. It does increase the temperature in here to 77. It's 53 outside. So maybe only for the winter do they really need to be on. I'll go through and turn them all off once it's done. I don't think it's worth trying to play whack-a-mole with those right now. Probably just going to be more trouble than it's worth at this point. So the next thing we can go ahead and get started on while they're finishing that up is we need to obviously detail a little bit, and then we also probably want to add some windows. So let's start with our detailing first. The first thing I want to do is take some pillars like this, and we're just going to add some edging to the outside. I can make this easier on myself by making sure to actually use the tools and kind of bring them out like so. And that's going to eat up a lot of our clay reserves. We are going to want some of that for windows as well, but I think we'll probably be all right. Everyone's sleeping in the new house already. Look at this. Let me zoom in. Look at them all. They look so comfy. Excellent. All right, I'm going to go ahead and deal with this incursion. I think we should be okay. I mean, they are going to take forever to get here, so it's hard to tell how okay we're going to be until they actually get here. But whoa, these are some speedy boys. Look at them. Well, they're going to be the ones that hit the traps first, so it doesn't always pay, you know, it's like the tortoise and the hare, right? You know, slow and steady wins the race, guys. Ooh. He got hit with an autosave right when he hit the traps. That's real nice. There we go. Oh, wow. They really took a lot of damage there. Yeah, I think we'll probably be all right. I will stop and show you guys if there's anything interesting, but we're probably just going to go ahead and skip ahead here. All right, so I want to point out this guy was running before it was actually over. So he clearly, I don't really know what was going on there, but he wasn't having it. He came up to the bridge and he was like, oh, those are my friends, and just ran away. I'm going to go ahead and let them haul this stuff, and then we can reset the traps in the morning. We'll go ahead and skip to that now. All right, and it is morning, so our next phase is going to be adding in these windows. I probably could have done this during the construction phase. However, I like to kind of build it out and then add the windows. I don't even think that's the most efficient use of your resources because these cost 12. And so I don't think that the 5 for the clay wall actually counts, which is unfortunate if it doesn't. If you do know the answer to that, let me know in the comments. I'd be interested to see if, you know, you already have the clay brick wall, if the 5 that you use to build the actual wall itself counts towards the window. Okay, I'm going to go up one more floor. We're just going to do the same thing here. Oh, and I lied. It actually looks like we're not going to be able to put the clay brick window there. I just recalled that we actually put in our supports there for the roof, so probably not really ideal to set that there. So we're just going to skip the front window and we just get this big facade like that. We can do some detailing to clean this up and make it look a little nicer. All right, and after I played with this a little bit, this is kind of the design I settled on. It's not the best in the world, I'll admit that. I do find that some of the variations that they've created with the new update kind of, they're not always the greatest, and that's okay, because I mean there's only so much you can do with brick really in reality, and so I think that it would be nice to add some more variations, and they clearly left themselves a lot of room here. So maybe as time goes on, Foxy will add some more different styles for us. I think that would be really cool. But I'm going to go ahead and get these corner pieces built here. Well, it clips into the roof a little bit, but it could look a lot worse. We may have to workshop that just a little more in the future, but the idea was just to kind of give this rounded pillar look on the exterior. But if we want, we can absolutely take a look at that in the future and kind of workshop it a little bit. I just wanted to give this building a little personality because it is, you know, like I said, a very utilitarian building, but that doesn't mean it has to be absolutely horrible. You know, it's state housing for sure, but I would like to make sure that it looks nice and that it's at least an upgrade over the log cabins they had. Though, they don't have to share these rooms, which I think is a substantial upgrade in terms of, you know, having privacy and not having to share rooms with people. I think that's good. That's nice. So I'm thinking maybe something we can do to improve the looks of the front of this building here is to add more windows. So perhaps we add a window there. Let's take a look at how that's going to look. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. I think that will end up looking nice. So we'll just add it to these corner ones. Whoever ends up sleeping here has just really got a nice gig, you know. But I mean, that's kind of how it works in the real world too. You get the nicer apartment, you know, and it's got a little more amenities and a better view and all of that. So I think that is in line with kind of what you would see. And then hopefully they'll go ahead and get started on that. I know that it's taken them a little bit, so we can go ahead and skip forward because it is nighttime anyway. Now that they've finished all these braziers, I can go ahead and turn them all off. And that's easy to do since we can do them all together just by double clicking that, and it should highlight all of them. And it should leave any of the other iron braziers that we might have around alone. Though I don't remember if we actually have that many. Oh, I missed a light. Well, actually, that brazier already has resources, so they think the only difference is that I didn't set it to medium priority. So when I was setting these, what my goal really was to try and make sure that the areas that they're going to be working in a lot were lit. So like this area where the armory and stuff is, that's lit up. Then I had them try to light up the blacksmith area, just any of the workshops and stuff. And one area I actually did not grab, now that I'm thinking about it, is the crypt. And I think since it's an area of reverence, I actually think we should set this to very high. And really the only reason I want to do that is because, one, it doesn't use the same resources that everything else does, which is really kind of a big bonus for us because we don't have a unlimited amount of coal. Eventually we are going to have to start purchasing coal, which, you know, it is what it is. We'll run out eventually on the map. And so that's kind of the point in the game where you really just have to knuckle down and start doing a ton of trading, that in the beginning. But, you know, like I said, it's not as big of a concern for us with tallow and beeswax because those are things that we can really just easily create, or at least the beeswax. So we'll go ahead and finish this up. All right, and now that they have put the windows up, I actually had an idea for the front of this that I think is going to look a little nicer. So let's take this back down a notch and just kind of make those clear. Let's grab another set of bricks over here. I actually only want it on one side, and we're going to whip that around. That does look better. Substantially better, actually. And the next thing we're going to do is we can grab some banners. I think maybe some medium banners. Ooh, do we have a longer one? Yeah, all right, that's what I was going for. Are they even going to be able to reach it? No. All right, well, in lieu of doing that, I don't want to, you know, build a whole scaffolding system just so that they can hang some banners up there. I think instead what we'll do is grab these guys and we'll put them like this. And let's see, will they be able to? No, there's no way they're going to be able to reach up there, right? Yep. Unfortunately, it's not going to work out quite the way I wanted it to. But I guess what we could do is just grab this again. And I wanted to actually make this rotated like that. No. We're not going to do that. I think it looks fine the way it is. We'll just proudly put our Wythenshawe banners up here. And I think that looks decent enough. They haven't built this this other set of window here, which I was kind of hoping they would have done. I think maybe it got canceled, or maybe I just didn't grab the other floor. Either way, they're going to be working on that for a little bit, and we're still waiting on materials to catch up. So really the next thing that we can do now that all that is done is demo all of our old houses, and it's going to free up a ton of space. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, I want to make sure I am not grabbing the path. So let's try and get a straight on shot here. And we're just going to come up to this corner here, bring it across like that, and there we go. That's a ton of demolition work that they're about to do. But here we go. They're off. It's probably going to destroy some of these roofs, but honestly, they're thatch roofs, which is just hay. So I'm not really that concerned about it, but it is going to take them a little bit of time to go through here. Something else we can do is, let me turn on my treetops. Yep, just as I suspected. our path does not quite connect up very well to our new housing apartment complex. You could call it a barracks if you want, I guess, but really all it is just apartments. Let's bring a path across like this. And the other thing we can go ahead and demo is these stick traps, because they're not really going to get used anymore. And I'd rather put them out on the death bridge. That way we can protect our settlers a little more, because really the death bridge is kind of, you know, where a lot of our action happens these days. As you can see also, our crops are starting to come back, which I'm excited about, except for barley, because I still don't have enough seeds for barley. We'll just have to keep working on that. I love that they're sleeping in the half-destroyed houses here. That's real nice, guys. All right, and it is morning time, so we can go ahead and finish working on some of this. I do want to grab the last turret here. I guess it's kind of like a turret. Not really, just a nice little architectural feature on the building. Either way, we can go ahead and grab it, turn it around, get it set up so it doesn't look off anymore. There we go. And that should finish us out, except for this one guy here. This one is taking a while to build. And then we can go ahead and do our variation on this as well. All right, and as you can see, there is where our poor housing used to be. There's still some remnants here. I want to grab these real quick. And as you can see by the limestone bricks laying on the ground, that I accidentally put down the wrong path again. So we are going to have to improve that. That's all right. That's something they can work on pretty quickly. So I think all in all, it looks pretty good. Grab the limestone floor, make sure we have the right one, not the limestone brick. I do that so much, it's insane. All right, make sure that's connected up. Yep, went a little too far, we'll cancel that out. All right, and that is going to be a wrap. I think it turned out pretty well. I do think maybe I might go back and add some flags up there or something. I think it would look a little cleaner, but right now we do have the Wythenshawe banner flying proudly, and I think all in all it turned out pretty good. I mean, it looks kind of like a very standard apartment building in my opinion. Oh, we do have one that isn't quite right here. There we go. That looks better. Yeah, all in all, I'm happy with this build. I think, like I said, it's just a very utilitarian use, but when we look back at this building and look at how much of the space was being consumed by our previous housing, I think all in all, the building turned out great. But let me know what you think in the comments. And then while you're there, if you liked the video, please consider giving it a like. And if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button. And if you are already subscribed, then hit that notification bell. That way you know when I have new videos out. So that's going to do it for today's episode. This was Games Over Explained, playing Going Medieval, and we'll see you next time.